Arsenal Stage News! Glad to have you back to Daily Hub of Gunners' latest news and current updates from inside and outside Emirates. Just hit the subscriber button if you are new here to join the family. Here we go again. Victor Gyökeres makes three-word promise that delights Arsenal fans. Arsenal bounced back to winning ways at the Emirates with a convincing 3-0 victory over Nottingham Forest, and once again, Victor Gyökeres was at the heart of the action. The Swedish forward continued his excellent start to life in North London, finding the net to seal a result that keeps Mikel Arteta's side at the sharp end of the Premier League table. Gyökeres, who arrived in the summer with plenty of expectation, has not taken long to show Arsenal fans why the club invested in him. His strike against Forest was his third of the season, underlining both his consistency and composure in front of goal. The finish, which came after superb link-up play with fellow new arrival Gyökeres, showcased the kind of attacking combinations Arsenal supporters have been hoping for. Speaking after the game, Gyökeres made a three-word pledge that will excite Arsenal fans. Best is coming. Despite his promising start, the 27-year-old insists that there is more to come from him as he settles into Arteta's system. You want to perform and show that you deserve to be on the pitch, Gyökeres explained. Of course, there's pressure when you join a very big club, but it's about focusing on the football and giving your best every time. His hunger and determination have quickly turned him from a player facing criticism after his debut against Manchester United into one of Arsenal's most important attacking outlets. The forward's sharp movement, strength inside the box, and eye for goal have already given the Gunners an extra dimension in attack. The win over Forest not only restored confidence after recent setbacks, but also briefly lifted Arsenal back to the top of the league before Liverpool's late penalty saw them maintain their unbeaten run. For Arteta, the sight of Gyökeres and Eze combining so effectively will be particularly encouraging as Arsenal look to compete on multiple fronts this season. Attention now turns to Europe, where Arsenal will kick off their Champions League campaign against Athletic Club. After reaching the semi-finals last season, the Gunners are eager to go one better this time around. Gyökeres, for his part, is relishing the challenge. It's tough, a lot of top teams in a short period, but we have to be ready. 2 fun games ahead. For Arsenal fans, his words are as welcome as his goals, proof that their new striker believes the best is yet to come. Leandro Trossard, facing uncertain future for club and country. Leandro Trossard is reportedly at risk of losing his place in the Belgian national team as he struggles to deliver consistent performances at both international and club level. The Arsenal forward has often been viewed as an important attacking option, but with form dipping and competition intensifying, his future at the highest levels of the game looks increasingly uncertain. At Arsenal, Trossard finds himself in a challenging situation. While the club demonstrated their desire to keep him by offering an improved contract during the last transfer window, they also added further depth in attacking positions. New arrivals such as Noni Madueke and Eberechi Eze, combined with the presence of Gabriel Martinelli, have pushed Trossard further down the pecking order. Realistically, he may feature in around 30 competitive matches this season across all competitions, but many of those appearances could come from the bench. For a player who thrives on rhythm and regular starts, this limited role could further hamper his effectiveness. On the international stage, Trossard is also facing growing pressure. Once a regular starter for Belgium, he now sees his place under threat from younger talents who bring fresh energy and dynamism to the side. Reports from Football Primeur suggest that national team selectors are beginning to question his long-term role, with Jeremy Doku and Malik Fofana increasingly making their case for inclusion. Both players have impressed when given opportunities, and there is a growing sense that Belgium look more balanced and dangerous in attack without Trossard in the starting lineup. The wider picture indicates that Trossard is approaching a transitional phase in his career. At 29, he is no longer seen as part of the next generation of Belgian football, and the rise of younger players could mean his influence gradually fades. The challenge for him will be to stay sharp and seize whatever opportunities come his way, both with Arsenal and Belgium. His versatility across the front line remains an asset, but he must deliver performances that justify his inclusion ahead of younger, hungrier rivals. Ultimately, Trossard is facing one of the most testing moments of his career. Unless he can rediscover consistency and adapt to the new competitive landscape, both his club and international prospects could diminish significantly. The coming months will be decisive in determining whether he can re-establish himself as a key figure, or whether his role at the top level begins to fade. Kai Havertz also adds to the headache after undergoing minor knee surgery. The German international picked up the problem after appearing off the bench at Old Trafford and is expected to be out for many weeks, according to Arteta. While the club remain optimistic, it will not stretch into months. It is another frustrating blow for a player who missed much of last season through injury. Elsewhere, Martin Odegaard has returned following a shoulder complaint and featured for Norway during the break, offering some relief for Arteta. Ben White, who started against Manchester United, continues to build fitness after previous knee surgery, though he remains under careful management. With a demanding run of fixtures ahead, Arsenal's depth will be tested. Arteta and fans alike will hope for swift recoveries, particularly for Saliba and Saka, whose influence remains vital in their pursuit of success both domestically and in Europe. Leandro Trossard Arsenal exit truth. As Albert Sambi Lokonga fee revealed, Arsenal faced significant interest in their players during the summer transfer window, with Leandro Trossard and Albert Sambi Lokonga both attracting headlines. Despite speculation, the Gunners managed to keep hold of Trossard, while Lokonga departed in a move that highlights the club's financial strategy. Leandro Trossard, who joined Arsenal from Brighton in January 2023, was the subject of late transfer interest from several European clubs. Roma made a concrete approach for the Belgian forward in the final week of the window, but Arsenal swiftly rejected it. Borussia Dortmund and Fenerbahce had also shown interest earlier in the summer. However, after recently signing a new contract with Arsenal, one that provided a pay rise but did not extend his deal beyond 2027, Trossard reaffirmed his commitment to Mikel Arteta's squad. Arsenal were keen to acknowledge his contribution since his arrival, making it clear he would not be available for transfer. That said, there remains a sense that Trossard could seek a fresh challenge at the end of the season, particularly as he edges closer to the final years of his contract. With Arsenal boasting strong attacking depth following the arrivals of Eberechi Eze and Noni Madueke, competition for forward roles has intensified, raising questions about the futures of both Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli, who remains a key figure in Arteta's plans, was on the radar of Bayern Munich and Barcelona this summer. Neither club was willing to meet Arsenal's valuation, but the Brazilian continues to be seen as a player who could generate a significant fee should the Gunners need to balance their books in the near future. Given financial pressures and profitability and sustainability rules (PSR), Arsenal are aware that at least one major sale may be required soon. Meanwhile, Albert Sambi Lokonga's exit provided some relief to the wage bill. The Belgian midfielder, not in Arteta's long-term plans, secured a move away from North London on deadline day. The financial details were initially kept under wraps, but German sources have since revealed the fee to be as low as £260,000, with potential add-ons. Though modest, the move was seen as beneficial in removing his salary obligations from Arsenal's payroll. Internally, the club is striving to improve its revenue from player sales, a strategy increasingly important in the modern financial landscape. While Lokonga's departure reflects pragmatism, the decision to retain Trossard shows Arsenal's determination to remain competitive this season, even if tough choices await in the future. Arsenal are continuing to make headlines during the international break, with off-field developments potentially impacting Mikel Arteta's squad in the weeks ahead. Despite the closure of the English transfer window, the Gunners remain active behind the scenes as sporting director Andrea Berta looks to finalize possible outgoing deals. At the same time, concern has arisen over striker Victor Gyökeres, whose commitments away from football could affect his availability. The Swedish forward, one of Arsenal's marquee summer signings, has been named as a witness in an upcoming defamation trial in his home country. Gyökeres' agent, Hassan Setinkaya, has filed a lawsuit for gross defamation against Swedish publications Fotboll STHLM and Expressen. The outlets allege that Setinkaya and his agency, HCM Sports Management, had ties to organized crime. accusations that the agent strongly denies. According to reports from Sweden, the case will be heard next year in the Stockholm District Court. Gyökeres is not accused of any wrongdoing, but has agreed to testify on behalf of his agent. While the timeline of the trial has not been fully confirmed, the possibility that he may have to appear in court has raised questions about his potential absence from crucial Arsenal fixtures. This situation comes at a time when Arsenal are hoping for stability following a busy transfer window. The club spent close to £260 million on reinforcements, including Gyökeres, goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga, midfielder Martin Zubamendi, winger Noni Madueke, defender Christian Mosquera, and attackers Eberechi Eze and Piero Hincapié. The investment underlined Arsenal's determination to mount a serious Premier League title challenge and finally end their two-decade wait for a domestic crown. Currently sitting third in the table, Arsenal endured a setback just before the break, suffering their first defeat of the season in a 1-0 loss to Liverpool. Arteta's side had previously enjoyed a perfect start, and the Spaniard will hope his new additions settle quickly to keep pace with the title challengers. With the squad spread across international duty, the manager is carefully planning ahead for Saturday's clash with Nottingham Forest, where 3 points will be seen as vital to regaining momentum. For now, Arsenal supporters will watch closely as Gyökeres balances his professional commitments with the legal process in Sweden. While there is no suggestion of wrongdoing on the player's part, any absence from the squad could prove disruptive during a season in which every detail may count in the hunt for silverware.